Hey everyone, today we are tackling a big one, figuring out Medicare when you're still on the job past your 65th birthday. It really can feel like a puzzle, but stick with me, and by the end of this, you're gonna have all the pieces you need to put it together. So, if that's you, if you're working past 65 and feeling a little lost about Medicare, you are definitely not alone. The rules can seem kind of weird, the deadlines are no joke, and honestly, making the wrong move can cost you. But don't you worry, we are going to walk through it all with a really clear strategic guide. So why is this so confusing in the first place? Well, it used to be way simpler. You turned 65, you got your Social Security, you got your Medicare. Easy. But way back in the 80s, Congress decided to raise the retirement age for Social Security, but they left the Medicare age right at 65. And that created this disconnect, this gap, that's left a whole new set of choices and a bunch of potential traps for anyone working into their late 60s. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll talk about that big crossroads at age 65. Then, we'll get to the one question that changes absolutely everything. After that, we'll map out your enrollment windows, show you how to dodge some pretty serious penalties, and wrap up with a few common gotchas that you really need to be aware of. All right, first things first, let's talk about the moment you turn 65. It's not just a birthday anymore, right? It's suddenly this huge decision point for your health coverage, and it comes with a whole new rulebook you need to understand. The key word in all of this is choice. See, Medicare pretty much wants everyone to sign up right at 65. But if you have health coverage from your job, you might have a really good strategic reason to wait. The trick is knowing when that choice is actually yours to make and when it's not. And that leads us to the single most important factor in this whole thing. Seriously, forget everything else for a second. The biggest question you have to answer is this: how many people work at your company? This one number, that's it. It creates this huge fork in the road, and it's going to send you down one of two completely different paths. You're either in the fewer than 20 employees group or the 20 or more group. And where you land pretty much decides your next move. So why does this number matter so much? Well, it all comes down to who's the primary payer, who pays your medical bills first. If your company has fewer than 20 employees, Medicare is primary. That means your work insurance is secondary, and it might not pay a dime until Medicare pays its share. So for you, it's not a choice. You must sign up for Parts A and B to avoid huge coverage gaps. But if your employer has 20 or more employees, your work plan is the primary payer. And that's what gives you the flexibility, the option to delay enrolling in Medicare Part B if you want to. Okay, so once you know which path you're on, the next piece of the puzzle is timing. And trust me, timing is everything here. Whether you sign up right away or decide to wait, getting the timing wrong can lock you out of coverage and, worse, lock you into higher costs for the rest of your life. Now, everybody turning 65 gets what's called an initial enrollment period, or IEP. Think of it as your main window of opportunity. It's a 7-month stretch. It starts 3 months before your 65th birthday month, includes your birthday month, and then runs for 3 months after. This is your first and most important shot to get signed up. But what if you work for a big company and you chose to delay Medicare? What happens then? That is where the Special Enrollment Period, or SEP, comes into play. You can think of it as your penalty-free, get-out-of-jail-free card. It's an 8-month window that opens up the month after you stop working or your group health plan ends, whichever happens first. And using your SEP is actually really straightforward. Once your job or your insurance ends, that 8-month clock starts ticking. You just have to submit 2 forms. One is your application for Part B, and the other is a form from your employer that basically just proves you've had coverage this whole time. That's it. Pretty simple. Okay. Now we need to talk about the consequences. And this is really, really important. If you miss your enrollment window, the penalty isn't just some one-time fee, it's permanent. This quote really says it all. These penalties, they don't just sting for a year or two. No, they get tacked onto your monthly premium for the rest of your life. It's literally like throwing money out the window every single month just because you missed a deadline. So what's the magic number for the Part B penalty? It's 10%. For every full 12-month period that you could have signed up but didn't, and you didn't have that coverage from a large employer, your monthly Part B premium goes up by 10%. Forever. Let's put some real dollars to this so you can see what I mean. Let's say you waited just 2 full years when you shouldn't have. That's a 20% penalty. Using the 2026 premium as an example, that's an extra $40 a month. That's almost $500 a year, every single year, for the rest of your life. And because the standard premium goes up most years, that penalty amount is just going to keep growing right along with it. All right, for our last section, let's talk about a couple of those gotchas, the specific situations that trip a lot of people up. We're talking about health savings accounts and family coverage. These two definitely require a little extra planning. So a lot of us love our health savings accounts, or HSAs, right? That triple tax advantage is awesome. But there is one hard, fast rule you absolutely have to know. The second you are enrolled in any part of Medicare, even the free Part A, you are legally banned from putting another penny into your HSA. But here's the real trap, the part that gets people. When you finally do apply for Medicare, your Part A coverage can be backdated up to 6 months. So if you put money in your HSA during that 6-month look-back period, you could get hit with an IRS tax penalty. So what's the big takeaway? You have to stop all your HSA contributions at least 6 months before you even apply for Medicare. The good news, though, is that you can totally use all the money that's already in there to pay for your Medicare costs. And one last really vital reminder. Medicare is not a family plan. It only covers you. Your spouse, your dependents, they can't hop on your plan. They have to qualify all on their own. So before you make the leap and drop that employer plan for Medicare, please make sure your family members won't be left high and dry without any insurance. So, after all that, what's your next step? Well, it really boils down to just a few key things. Find out your employer's size, get crystal clear on your timeline, and if you have an HSA, plan for that 6-month buffer zone. A little bit of homework right now will make sure you make the absolute best choice for your health and for your wallet down the road.